Good afternoon, Clashers and Clashers. Coming to you from NGE Studios here in beautiful Burbank, California. This is the official Supercell Clash Royale North American Opens. Representing Frozen Peak, I'm Christian.
And Builders Workshop, I'm Ella.
That's right, and today we are bringing you guys back-to-back of the top Clash Royale plays that you will ever be able to see right now in history.
They're so awesome.
At this moment,
and hundreds of thousands of you guys are playing through our open qualifiers, which it's been awesome.
It's been crazy.
So you'll go from our open qualifiers to nights like tonight.
Yeah, the Coronation.
The Coronation event.
That's right.
Da-da-da!
Hey, look at this new fancy graphic.
So fancy. You'll go from there to the crown, or the arena battles, to the crown duels.
That's right.
And finally, one lucky winner will take home $15,000 of $100,000 prize pool and get a trip to Supercell HQ.
That's right. Look at all those monies that people are playing for. Today, we have 8 more people for you guys, the top players in Clash Royale. This is Coronation Day number 9. We are over halfway there. 8 players already have been crowned. 8 more to go. And now, before we take a look at who those 8 are, quickly walking through the rules they are actually playing for. Let's talk about what they're playing for. First place taking home $2,000. Second place, $500. Third and fourth place, $300 each. And fifth through eighth, $100. Again, they're playing not just to move on, but also for that every single night. Now, a quick recap of the rules here at the official Supercell Clash Royale North American Open. We run the standard tournament cap with the double deck submission. Each player must submit 2 unique decks to us, and by unique we mean at least 4 cards different from deck to deck. And to move on, it's super simple, really super easy. You just gotta beat your opponent with both of your decks before they beat you with theirs, and boom, you're one step closer to treasures, fame, glory, all that good stuff.
Do that.
Yeah.
So easy.
Yeah, so now let's take a look at tonight's 8 players that we have for you guys. Up first, it is Tin2 versus Lucifer.
And then we have EPRU versus Sadie97.
Then we've got Popcorn versus Chief Mystical.
And finally, we have Jewish Panda versus AJ.
That's right, 8 amazing players here for you guys today. So let's go over to our couch so we can jump right into it. Joining me on the red side. Wong, you would have got it, but apparently, hey, I'm wrong. Jewish Panda and AJ are now up next.
Look, guys, we're in Spell Valley.
Ooh. And we're going to see some spells here because Jewish Panda is running
Throwback to me 2 weeks ago.
You've what?
Our little girl's growing up so much.
Wait, what arena is Elliot in right now?
Builders Workshop, buddy.
Builders Workshop. Nice.
So not too far ahead of this. But
Yeah, let's not get too cocky here. You can always fall back down.
But I have a legendary, you guys.
You'll never fall back down.
Christian.
Hey, I got my first legendary.
Did you?
But then it was taken from me because it was part of the King's Cup. Yeah, sad day.
So Jewish Panda is running the Golem deck that we've seen. Sub out Baby Dragon, put in Graveyard. So look for some pretty cool graveyards to be coming out here.
Golem Graveyard was the deck that was really a good graveyard deck. Probably the best one that we've seen so far.
I have a pretty sick graveyard deck that I did pretty well. We'll talk about it later. That's a break thing. But Jewish Panda is also running, his other deck is the second Expo in the top 16. So after 2 Coronation days of 0 Expos in the top 8, we've got 2 this time.
Here's the thing about AJ, just a reminder, is the last Coronation that we saw him, he was the person to bring the most unique deck that we saw up to this day.
He's running the exact same list he brought last time. This is his custom-made giant deck that uses Musketeer, Bomber, still arrows and lightning, some pretty... It's still a standard giant deck, but it's running very different cards than a lot of the other giant decks that we're seeing. His second deck is also a giant deck, but with Valkyrie, Mirror, and Furnace.
Here it is. Here it is.
Here comes the graveyard.
It's
spooky.
Oh my gosh.
Stop the pain. Stop the pain. Oh no. Oh my God. And the skeletons are still, they're having an after party.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I love Graveyard so much.
Okay.
It was in my store Saturday morning.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. I've been using it ever since. I invested 40,000 gold, never left my bank account quicker.
Oh man.
Just like that. Tower gone. Crown Tower almost to half HP.
Yeah.
And the skeletons are kissing there at the river.
And, oh no, John's in the way.
Bomber is an interesting pick. It does actually so much damage, but it's very, very weak itself.
It seems like AJ prefers Bomber in place of the Archers. It's the same thing. They cost 3.
He's got cannon.
Whoa.
Is the tombstone going to be dropped afterwards? We'll have to see. There's a lot of troops here on the field. Those arrows actually wiped out so much and only 2 archers remain. But how do you turn this momentum around? With 10 seconds left, I think AJ is going to fall.
Yeah. Even
He's using it.
graveyard.
It's a skeleton party. Wow, that
Musketeers
is
never move.
that is zombie survival.
Again, I love when this happens because that poor musketeer. Just imagine what she's saying. She's like, no, please stop, please stop. There we go. Graveyard so effective there. Jewish Panda picking up the first game against AJ. One more game away from the semifinals. Our final semifinals.
AJ, please. I want to see Mirror go farther. I want to see. The only time I have been super impressed with Mirror is when Procol has played it. I think that it's a great card. There needs to be some way. Having a duplicate card, basically being able to cycle for only 1 elixir. That's how you have to think about it, right?
Yeah,
like
that's a good point.
if you wanted to play a card and then needed that card again and you had to cycle all your cards over, that's what, at least 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. If there are 4 1 elixir cards, right? That's at least 4 elixirs.
Sure.
And then you have to pay for
And
the
it
card
levels it
itself.
up.
Yeah, and it levels it up. It only is +1, and it gives you an extra. I think that there's a way to do it.
I think you might get your wish here because if I'm AJ, I might switch to my other deck because Valkyrie, great at blocking Expo and clearing out whatever trash gets put in front of it. Giant, of course, the original blocker of siege weapons. But Furnace is also really good, and of course you can mirror the Furnace. So then if you have 2 of those things in the middle.
Ooh, that's a little bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah, what do you
That's exactly what that is.
Right. That they damage the tower slowly but surely, and if you try to set up the Expo and guards or whatever in front of it,
Yeah. And that's the thing
Blow
about
up on
Furnace,
an
it's a tanky unit as far as one of the buildings go. A lot more tanky than Tombstone.
Tombstone,
Graveyard,
right.
Tombstone.
I know, I keep
So
getting in
many.
my head. They're
So
similar.
okay, you said he would have switched. Let's say AJ decides not to switch. Let's say he decides to keep the deck he just did. How is he going to go up against anything that Jewish Panda is going to bring with the Expo? How is he
he's
going to
got
go against
Tombstone.
the Expo?
He's got Lightning.
Okay.
Theoretically, Lightning the Expo in the tower. We saw that a little bit. He also, weirdly, has Cannon, which you could play right at the river directly across from the Expo.
Start
And I
shooting
believe
it.
the Cannon would win that matchup.
Angry
or
already.
Very close.
Jewish Panda or AJ? Who do you think's gonna take it? Can Jewish Panda win this one, you guys?
Jewish Panda is
See,
definitely
Musketeer.
looking.
AJ did stick with his giant bomber deck. Bomber's really the standout, unique card in the deck, and I think it just replaces archers. Costs the same, also doesn't die to arrows or log or zap, and instead of having 2 separate bows firing quickly, it's just 1 big splash damage, and Bomber does a pretty significant amount of damage. You can't underrate it.
Bomber does a lot of damage. Big problem is it can't shoot up. You can't throw that bomb very far.
That's a good point. Archers hit the sky. Bomber
And there it
hits
is. Oh boy. Let's get him, boys. Oh no! I'm sorry.
Ooh, great lightning there.
Nice.
The weaken it. Unfortunately, I think he should have waited a little bit longer because the Inferno Tower wasn't really heated up at all. It really did it just as he walked into Inferno Tower range.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of an adjustment, and AJ definitely is hurting because of that initial rocket. He knows that rocket is in the deck, and it's going to be really, really hard to try to play away from that tower.
Well, Jewish Panda could totally switch lanes now because that left tower has, not a ton of damage on it, but hey, 250 damage, why not?
Yeah.
And if you put the Musketeer or the Mega Minion on that side, you're forcing them to rocket it that way, which is not nearly as good. Oh, there's the cannon.
there it is.
Let's see what
locked
happens.
on.
And the bomber took down the Ice Spirit. The Ice Golem and the Mega Minion are going to take down the cannon, and he needs to drop another unit on the floor. It's going to be the Musketeer. That Mega Minion has wandered so far that it can't actually stop that Musketeer from taking down the Expo. That was a pretty good defensive play from AJ.
And both players ran themselves broke, down to less than 2 elixir by the end of that exchange. Now they're saving back up, trying to figure out what the next push is. AJ's in a weird position, though. He wants to be aggressive with the Giant, but he really can't play it until an Expo comes down.
Oh.
Or he's going to.
Well, let's see. Let's find out why you can't do that.
No, the cannon there, but it's slowed
still
down.
not safe.
It's not in range either.
He's
Oh, it
still
is in
not
range.
safe.
Oh.
And this is why. This is why he can't do it. Oh, if you can see Rumham's face right now.
I have a rum-eating grin on my face. Ooh, good lightning, though, to stifle the bleeding.
Oh.
Now we'll see.
Ooh, a little too
Actually,
late,
this
though.
Giant is pretty healthy. Skeletons are going to try to chip it down, get slowed down by the Ice Golem, and we'll be able to take care of it before it reaches the tower.
Your
Bomber
point,
can't
Archers
shoot
would
up.
have cleaned that one up, but
Yep.
Bomber does not throw the bomb very high.
all things considered, that tower is fairly healthy. The fact that Jewish Panda has Rocket in his deck means he can definitely close this out, but
Yes.
AJ has a little more time than you would initially expect to close this game. He doesn't Lightning too late and misses the Mega Minion, and that might be the nail in the coffin for AJ, actually.
Because that basically gives him a free rocket. Like, okay,
Yeah.
you lightning me, but it wasn't really that effective. The push didn't really go anywhere, so since you're down 6, I will join you in being down 6 and throw the rocket at the tower.
Inferno Tower going to tag onto the Mega Minion, and I think that's the way that AJ wants it. Now
Ice
it's going to
Spirit
be
missed.
on the Giant, but I think AJ wants to play the Lightning now. No, it's too late again. And
there it is.
Rerock every single lightning.
There it is.
The log for the end, and that is going to be Jewish Panda moving on 2-0. AJ from Red Alpha. Is this the first time we've seen the clan Human Made?
Human Made.
Human made, I believe so, yeah.
All right, so Human Made making their debut.
Congrats.
Number 9. Well done.
Do humans make pandas?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's why there's so few
I
of them.
slept through biology a lot.
That's what you learn in elementary school. Humans
But
make
you know
pandas.
about this video game, so it's all good, right?
My teachers are very proud
It's a
of
nice
me.
trait. That's my student.
So,
That's my
do
student.
you guys think that's like the rebirth of the expo that we're seeing there, or not quite yet?
I think AJ needs to go back to Expo school. Like, it's a tough matchup because you don't see it that often, but he is in the Reddit clan system, and theoretically, you should get a lot of experience about it. I think he was making generally good decisions by dropping the Giant in the middle and just start your push from the middle as much as possible. But the one time, you only need to make one mistake for Expo to put you down, and that was what happened. One time, plays it behind the King Tower, Expo comes out, 1,500 damage onto that tower, and see you later.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at our first replay. It is the massacre that was Graveyard.
I like this deck better than the Baby Dragon version. It's a little more spooky, but it's so much more fun. I mean, look at that. They're just popping out from the ground. It's just like they're having a party,
Look at the damage.
having a great time.
They're
And
like-
after the party, they go towards the King Tower.
Come on, guys, let's go.
They're bar hopping. That's what they're doing.
The key to the graveyard is that it spawns a new skeleton every, I think, 0.5 seconds, but the tower shoots every 0.7 or 0.8 seconds.
Oh,
so if the tower
eventually.
is shooting skeletons, it will slowly get overwhelmed, but slowly. As long as the tower is locked onto something like a golem, skeletons can just swarm because there's nothing taking them down.
Nice connection with the Expo.
And that was
Really the reason why you play your Giant in the middle. Or at the very least, just if you think that he doesn't have it in hand, to be safe, just play behind your Crown Tower, not behind the King Tower, right? Because that Giant, I mean, he delayed it for a pretty long time. If that Giant was just behind the Crown Tower, it would have gone to the bridge.
You're right. And yeah, if you play behind the Crown Tower, you also have the option of something like Archers, Ice Spirit, Tombstone, something kind of throwaway to buy a little bit of time, and then the Giant will quickly walk up. It was on the opposite side of the map and as far back from the...
As you can possibly
Right.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at that bracket now that this is trash.
But AJ is not.
Here we go.
He'll come back. Anyone who makes a repeat top 8 after going through hundreds of thousands of players to get here, all very quality players, but it shows how you have to know every single matchup in explicit detail in order to advance to the arena battles and crown duel.
And again, AJ bringing that mirror. So one day you may see the mirror work, but just not today. Lucifer, EPRU, they are going to be the next match that we're going to see moving on. And just kind of a little teaser, who do you think is playing a little more on point tonight? Whose deck are you liking more between those two players?
I like EPRU. I think that Minor, Inferno, Cycle, Defense is a deck that is really suited for the meta. I think it's really suited for the meta right now. It has defensive options, it has guaranteed damage, inevitable damage. I think that's the one to look for.
All right, right, man.
You know, I really want to agree with you, Rainey, but I'm looking at the Giant Bowler deck. Here's what happens. If the Giant Bowler deck wins early, he might actually be in better position than having to go into a crucial game 3. The Lucifer's Giant Bowler deck has log and arrows and bowler. It's going to be real hard to get goblin barrels, skeleton armies, that kind of stuff to consistently hit with all those spells. But he did it in the round of 8 against a deck with both log and arrows. So
He's gotten here. Who knows how many he's gone against?
Yeah.
He might have some magic tricks up his sleeve, you know? Which,
Hope so.
speaking of magic tricks and all things awesome, send us your haikus.
Yeah.
That made sense, right?
Yeah.
575 syllables, not words.
Nope.
Christian,
Yeah,
looking at you.
Yeah. Who does that?
Make them
things.
really awesome because
stuff.
they're better than the ones that we can make up, and we need that in our lives, in our little den here.
That's right, guys. Well, now the round of 8 is done. The semifinals are what's happening next. That's going to come after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Woo!
We're
here because these are our semi-finalists. A player to watch.
I really like Chief Mystical's Hog Rider usage. I think that he made a lot of really great decisions, and Hog Rider play at the top level requires really, really precise execution and really good timing. Jewish Panda, though, I think has two decks that are very well suited for what he needs to do. Golem Graveyard provides you a punch that is undeniably very terrifying to deal with. Yes, and at the same time, Expo with Rocket, I mean, that's just very, very solid. You can defend, you can Rocket Cycle against the Hog Rider, and you can do really well.
This faces Graveyard might be real good against Chief Mystical. We've seen Chief Mystical play exceptional defense when he was able to keep those golems from hitting his tower with various decks. That was pretty crazy. But I'm looking at this now. Graveyard just going to pop up. There ain't no crossing the bridge for Graveyard. That's just on your tower. And Hog Rider ain't going to stop it. Princess is too slow. Mega Minion's kind of slow. Like, we can see some cool Graveyard plays.
You guys better share this because this stuff's about to get crazy. You don't want any of your friends to miss this.
No friend. Not a single friend.
Not a single one.
No. Or sibling.
No.
Or family
or
member.
Mom.
Immediate or marriage.
My mom did actually watch a Coronation Day.
My parents have been watching every single day.
Hey,
Your family loves you more than mine.
Hey, parents.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
It's good to have you guys here. All right, so like we're saying, coming up next, Chief Mystical and Jewish Panda. One of the things that Chief Mystical is doing, kind of like what Backstab did, was running a double of the similar deck, right? Backstab runs double Royal Giant. Now we have Chief Mystical running double Hog Rider. So if a Hog Rider just shows to be better than one of the decks, this might be able to take him to the finals.
I definitely think that one of the wins goes to Graveyard. I think Graveyard is really effective with this Golem combo. I agree with Rumham. I don't know if there's a way for Chief Mystical to stop it, but that's only one win, right? You have to make your... Basically, I think that it comes down to Jewish Panda's Expo deck. What can the Expo deck do against Hog Riders? That's the question.
It's definitely different from a lot of the Hog Rider decks we've seen before. It does not have Tombstone, so it's not as vulnerable to the log. It's got skeletons, but they only cost one, so if you log them, not the end of the world. It does have Inferno Tower, which should be pretty good.
Chief Mystical versus Jewish Panda in our second semifinal match. Who do you guys think is going to take it at home? Let us know.
Big pressure on Mystical here. He wants to bring one home for Hammer Esports. It's it'll be their second title if he can pull it off. Putting him up
they
there
need
with,
to catch up.
Right, putting him up there with Takeover, Reddit Alpha, many of the other clans who have taken home multiple Coronation Day titles already, and we're only halfway through.
But Jewish Panda wanting to represent Human Made to have their first Coronation Day win, so a lot on him as well.
Princess is a card that we haven't seen recently, but I've really liked, I mean, that's the reason why, but I've actually really liked the usage of Princess in the tournament today.
Ooh, that card's so strong. Like, oh god, here comes a great log.
Log!
And it knocks the archers back a little bit and interrupts their attack, which just gives them a little bit more time to get to the tower and take a swing.
One of the archers got clipped by the Ice Golem, and so it actually...
Oh, it actually died?
Yeah, it died to the log. Uh-oh. Watch out. Ooh, play the Ice Golem to protect the princess. Now he has to log. You have to log the princess.
So this is the Inferno Tower Hog Lightning deck. To your point earlier, Christian, about him playing two separate Hog Rider decks, one of the really cool things that he was able to do was play two kind of different Hog Rider decks. I mean, even though they both contain Hog Rider, they're not nearly as similar as, for example, two Expo decks might be in terms of their play. This one is far more defensive, far more controlly. It's going to lean on its Inferno Towers and Princesses to force them to attack into you, and then uses Hog Lightning on these really big, powerful counterattacks to do a lot of damage. His other Hog Rider deck is a lot faster tempo, faster pace, casting Hog Rider so often that you're not able to counter them very well.
One thing I like about what Chief Mystical is doing is, like you were saying, Randy, he puts the Princess on one side where you gotta log it, right? Which then leaves your log not able to push back the Hog Rider.
God, that combo is so good, and Chief Mystical is really making short work of Jewish Panda. This is Jewish Panda's time. Double Elixir has finally hit, and he's weathered the storm, but did he take too much damage? Here comes the first graveyard.
It logs out.
It's gonna be the Ice Golem.
Go, Princess, go! Go, Princess, go!
Princess got the value shot. No, where are you walking? Shoot to the left!
Princess, what are you doing? Your tower's under attack.
Oh my gosh. And really, this is a key moment for Jewish Panda. He needs to make the dream happen right now. Ice Golem is getting way more hugs than I would have normally seen, and this princess is about to abandon duty.
Oh, yeah, Princess not even looking at the tower. That tower is
God.
going down.
No. The thing is, Chief Mystical has the opportunity to push this into overtime. The fact that that left side tower is so weak is actually a great boon for Chief Mystical. because that means that he actually has a shot. He can race the next golem drop and try to take down that
That's
tower
true.
before the golem gets
Already
there.
half health.
But the big problem is, again, Graveyard. How do you stop it? It's a race. Chief Mystical needs first strike right now. And I think that moment of opportunity is quickly slipping away. The instant this golem makes it across the river, I give Chief Mystical maybe another 20 seconds to live. This Hog Log might do it. This is a big play right now. If this Hog Rider gets it and gets enough swings.
One more.
No, it's not quite enough. Defense is so important. Where's the Graveyard? No, I think Jewish Panda invested too much elixir on the left. The Golem's going to make it, but it's not actually going to end the game. And if Chief Mystical Lightnings defend this Graveyard lightning once, then the Golem is definitely too slow for the next lightning. And I think that Chief Mystical might have closed it out.
Wow.
Ice Golem is a decent little stopgap there too, because it absorbs all the shots, and when it does die, it blows up on the skeletons.
He didn't get the swing. That could have been the end of the game, but the Hog Rider didn't get to swing. And so now Jewish Panda lives just a little bit longer. It's not enough time to do 2 lightnings, or it's going to be a big risk. He needs the Hog Rider to swing right now.
That's it.
Where's the defense? There's a log.
Here comes the Lightning Chief Mystical picking up game number 1 here in the semifinals against Jewish Panda with a deck that this was the deck that you said that he would have a harder time against, correct?
Well, he got a good matchup there. No, actually, I don't really think there's a
Harder
good or bad
better?
matchup. It's that this one was the control deck. It's the one that's going to sit back, and he got a better matchup there. He got paired up against the Golem deck, which control decks thrive on beatdown decks. They sit back, they're prepared for you, they have answers to your plan A, and they want to knock down your attacks and then slowly get their damage in when they can. I think he would have a harder time with that deck against the Expo deck solely because Expo forces you to come to them. You have to put together an attack, and the only cards that really attack in that deck are like Hog and Mega Minion, and Princess is not going to block an Expo.
Sure.
We know that much.
Poor Princess.
Poor-
I have faith in her.
Yeah, there was 2 on the board at one time. That was pretty great. Just a reminder, guys, for our schedule here at the Clash Royale North American Opens. Good afternoon to you guys. This is kind of a rare event. We're doing a back-to-back marathon palooza here.
Because of Sunday's King's Cup.
Because of the King's Cup on Sunday, which was a fantastic event. Go ahead
Wonderful.
and watch that if you guys have missed any of that. Some fantastic top players. Some of our top players made it over there as well and played. So kudos to them. But we have another one tonight, 6 o'clock p.m., so don't go anywhere. Just quickly, you can go somewhere briefly and then come back.
Bathroom
and then,
break.
Yeah,
then
bathroom break, and then you're in. Then you're
Come
instantly
back.
in. Maybe even bring your phone to the bathroom just so you don't miss a thing. And then Wednesday, 6 o'clock p.m., Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m., and we'll be again back next Sunday at 6 o'clock. All right, Chief Mystic up 1-0 against Jewish Panda. If you're Jewish Panda, Rainey, do you bring the Expo deck or do you try to do the Golem again?
I think if you're Jewish Panda, try the Expo deck. I think that the defense against the Hog Rider was just so tough for Jewish Panda to put together. In the early 2 minutes of the game, each Hog Rider just got swing after swing after swing, and that really hurt. How many times do you see a Hog Rider deck win in a 1-1 tower situation, taking the second tower, winning 2-1? Not that often, and the fact that Chief Mystical could put that together is actually astounding to me. I think play the Expo.
I've been really impressed by Chief Mystical. I kind of agree with you. I think you might as well switch it. Here's the problem. The game's going to go 2 different ways no matter what you play. If you play Expo, you're actually kind of in the driver's seat. You are the one putting down the Expo, forcing them to react, and if you can grab the game by the throat, you can win, right? The downside is if he plays the Golem deck, even though it's more powerful, a lot of openings. He's going to go down to 2 elixir to cast that Golem, and that's when the Hog strikes.
Yep. All right, well, we'll see right now. Chief Mystical, one more game from being our finalist. Can he take it?
Oh, here it comes. Starting the game out with a
Starting
big
quick.
combo. There's actually no lightning in this deck, I believe.
No, there's not. There's Fireball instead. The jump there was actually bad for the Hog Rider. You wanted the Ice Golem to be the first thing tagged on. You wanted the Hog to stay behind it, push it up front, and then when it dies, freezes on it. With those going in reverse order, Jewish Panda got a pretty good 5-for-6 trade there.
Here we go. How do you stop the Expo from tagging onto your tower? And Ice Golem might be the biggest card you have to do that, and it's already gone. Meanwhile, Ice Golem from Jewish Panda is going to hold up the Mega Minion. Now the skeletons pop. Run, Mega Minion. Run. No, not the skeletons. The Expo. Ooh. The Expo. No. There's the Ice Spirit too. Hog Rider is going to come in and save the day. But I think Inferno Tower might be in cycle, and there it is. Mega Minion actually tags it up, but Hog Rider takes 3 swings and will die to this Inferno Tower.
That wasn't too bad, though, because you did take down the Expo, and you got another 5 elixir out from the Inferno Tower. Now, if you look at Jewish Panda, is only just now able to cast Expo, but without support cards, it's probably not going to do it. Chief Mystical has a 2 elixir advantage that he can use to invest in another set of archers, maybe a tombstone in the middle, and continue to try to seal the lanes before another Expo comes to punish them.
Uh-oh, time for Chief Mystical to scramble again. I think the early play is Hog Rider right now. Maybe remove the Mega Minion, but then commit to the Hog Rider on the table. Oh, miss the Ice Spirit. That's going to change things a little bit. Archer is the last bastion of defense. No, and it's gone.
Oh, the skeletons again.
Oh, wow.
Mega Minion has a pretty
swings.
slow hit speed, and those skeletons are actually really effective at buying time.
How do you get past the Inferno Tower? Would have liked the Lightning, but don't have it in this deck. You have Fireball, and I think there's Zap in this deck, so that might be the option, but that's expensive. I mean, it is 6 elixirs, so that's actually the same as Lightning, but just having both cards in hand.
I agree. He hasn't shown a ton of ways to get around it. You have to hold the Ice Golem. Don't be, oh, nice Archer placement. It was just outside the range of the Ice Golem, and they were able to lock on and do a critical amount of damage to it.
Ooh, the log actually pushed the Archers back, let it get a shot off onto the Mega Medium, but this is a big Expo, and that might actually take down the tower. Hog Rider getting one swing will stop that, but where's the Inferno Tower? Ice Spirit into Inferno. There it is.
There it is.
I think Fireball Zap is the option here, but no, even if he did that, the Hog Rider already lost so much health, and this is one of the big reasons why Expo is so great. I think that, oh wow, that rocket is really going to seal the deal. I think that playing Hog Rider against Expo, you almost need to commit your Hog Rider to trading against the Expo. Trying to use it aggressively is just hurting you in the long run.
He actually could probably play a center Expo at this point to draw any future Hog Riders towards it, although he's got this game locked up. Very impressive play there by Jewish Panda, tying it up at 1-1.
There we go. Both of these now going into a death match. Game 3 into the finals. Who will be joining it? Will it be Chief Mystical joining Lucifer, or will it be Jewish Panda? Let us know at home.
Good news for Chief Mystical. He's going into Game 3 with against the dreaded Golem Graveyard deck, but he actually has Archers, Zap, Ice Golem, Mega Minion, Tombstone. Like, there's a lot of cards that he could use to counter the Graveyard if it come up. I think he has a better chance of winning against it with this deck than the other.
Is Ice Golem good for Graveyard defense? Graveyard? Yeah.
Ice Golem
I know.
is
Tombstone good?
Always doubting yourself.
Ice Golem is good because when the Ice Golem pops up, it walks really, really slowly. So if you place it on the side where the Graveyard is most overlapping, then that means most of the skeletons that pop out will actually tag onto the Ice Golem. If the Ice Golem does end up dying, you don't have to worry about any of the skeletons that piled on.
Okay.
Also, it gives you the opportunity to build up the skeletons without taking damage to your tower, and then say a princess or a log just splashes and takes down the majority of the skeletons, which is also very helpful.
Yeah, and it's only 2 elixir to 5, so even if you play something like Archers along with it, that can totally ace the Graveyard for, the same elixir cost, so that helps.
Speaking of icy things, Ice Spirits got a reduction recently, right? How did that affect these decks that we saw just now?
One thing I've definitely noticed is that Musketeer feels like you used to be able to counter things like Musketeer and Mini P.E.K.K.A. with just a single Ice Spirit, and it seems like that extra half second has allowed those cards to come back to life a little sooner and threaten the tower a little more. That's probably good. It's probably bad for Clash Royale if 1 elixir cards can counter 4 and 5 elixir cards, because you want the 4 and 5 elixir cards.
It was nice while it lasted, but...
Yeah.
Here we go. Jewish Panda, Chief Mystical.
Here comes same opening, doing the hog push on the Ice Golem. Oh! And the Hog Rider's not going to get a swing.
Worth mentioning, though, that Ice Golem has largely replaced Ice Spirit in a lot of these decks with its buff to now kill skeletons and also a huge amount of hit points for its cost. That's largely kind of been the new card that people are using just to block incoming offensive attacks.
Saw there that it was very effective. Slowed up the Archer, prevented any tower damage, and also took down the Ice Golem.
This might be the time to attack.
All right, here it comes. Pushy push. Tombstone's going to come down. Oh, first log.
Not good enough.
Uh-oh, and you made a mistake.
And it's slower now.
Oh, and the Mega Minion gets slow.
4. Oh, 4 hits. Almost 5 there.
And it was definitely 4 because of the Ice Golem slow. If that thing didn't slow, 100% that was only a 3-time push.
Hold on.
Archers
Watch your back. Watch your back, Archers.
Don't make me go.
Oh, man, they are just taking them down. Wow, that is some fast target acquisition.
Look at this defense right here.
And that's the downside of Graveyard. It is a very high risk, high reward sort of card. If it works, it can ace a tower from 100% to 0.
We saw that happen.
Buddy, there's very few cards that can disappoint you like a Graveyard sometimes.
Double swing and a zap for the 3-hit combo earns the Hog Rider 1 swing. Jewish Panda had to play the Archers to get a single shot off on the Hog Rider to prevent 2.
Now, Jewish Panda already thrown up those well plays. We're not the double elixir, which we've seen. That's where Golem thrives.
Yes. Right now, I mean, Chief Mystical is doing even better than he did in the first game. We're not even in overtime, and he's got 845 on that right side tower. In the other game, Jewish Panda had 1,000 plus health on that right side tower, so it's still not looking very good for him.
Ooh, I think he got tricked there. Oh, he does play the Golem. Oh no, Jewish Panda.
Uh-oh.
He was trying to block a tombstone that wasn't going to come up. I was under the impression that Ice Golem back there was sort of a bait to see if he would hog ride, and then you still have 8 elixir to defend with. But instead, Jewish Panda just actually dropped the Golem, right? And then might have hurt him.
Ice Golem against the Graveyard. The Mega Minion is actually going to lose. The Mega Minion loses because the Graveyard attracts it, and now the Graveyard is able to connect.
Wow.
Wow.
I actually think Chief Mystical should hide the Archer drop until the Graveyard comes out because...
He cycled again!
This might be a 3 crown, and I think this Ice Golem is... Oh, no. Hold on. Wait, that's too many skeletons. Hold on, Chief Mystical. You're not out of the woods yet. And I think that Jewish Panda got from behind.
What?
Fireball?
Wait, does he have?
There's log
Jewish
zap.
Panda has log zap.
Those two combined will do it.
Go.
Zap. Graveyard is such a dangerous card.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we talk about being high risk, high reward.
We saw both in the same game.
Yeah, there it is, the log. There's the zap. Jewish Panda getting a 3 crown. I think that's only our 4th one out of all the Coronation days, and he is moving on to face off against Lucifer in the final.
Jewish Panda's gonna be meeting Lucifer.
Yep, that's it. Let's see if you guys predicted it at home, because some people in the back did.
Yeah, the Panda went up to Burbank, and he's looking for a deck to steal.
That's right. Wow, what a match. I mean, we were just talking, again, like you said, in one match we see Graveyard played and just get countered and do nothing, and then all of a sudden take a tower down, played again, 3 crown.
You know what's kind of odd for Chief Mystical, too? If I'm looking at it, he actually didn't... Oh, he did. I'm sorry. He did mirror 4 cards between all of them. So the Zap log was a thing that he had to do. But I really feel like Zap was kind of a liability in that compared to how effective log was at getting around Tombstone. His opponent played Tombstone in both decks, and every time he was able to log the Tombstone or lightning it, it seemed really good. And the Zap was just not quite as good. His lightning deck has been crushing people all day, and this was the deck he struggled with the entire tournament, and it comes back to bite him in the semifinals.
Well, let's see our first replay with some expos. Expos are sort of back, you guys. Like,
There's an expo.
Half back.
And it's partially because there's really no Royal Giants hanging around anymore.
Yeah.
Royal Giants
Our Royal Giant's gonna come back because of this.
Love that play, by the way, of the archers on the far right side. They actually were able to lock on to the X-Bow instead of the Ice Golem placed in front. That's what was able to prevent a lot of damage from coming through. It was still enough to put it within rocket range, but Chief Mystical went down fighting.
Yeah, I agree. Oh my God, this Graveyard is actually so...
Now, how does this turn to a 3 crown? That really surprised me that it just turned into another 3 crown.
The thing is, it's the second Graveyard that gets played in the same cycle. There it is.
Yeah.
That's the Graveyard that really hurt Chief Mystical the most.
Skeleton party.
It was 2 Ice Golems, 2 Mega Minions, and 2 Graveyards. He
Talking
just
about critical mass.
Yeah, so much stuff. And a lot of that comes down because Chief Mystical on the right side committed, I want to say 9 elixir to his push because he had, I think, an Ice Spirit, or I'm sorry, 10. He had Ice Golem, Hog Rider, and a Fireball. He was trying to Fireball a Tombstone that never came. So he kind of just fireballed the tower, and he may not have even needed to because the Hog Rider might have done it all on his own. So now he's back down to 0 elixir, and here comes Ice Golem plus Golem. It was not that much more that you had to add on top to make that a tower crushing push.
Well, also, and then he got back to it, and his Fireball had to be used defensively instead of offensively anyway. So even if he was trying to get the spell cycle on the enemy tower, he just didn't have enough leisure to do that.
In terms of strategical thinking, there's something that we should bring up, right? In that situation, if you were Chief Mystical, right, pre-fireballing a Tombstone in your mind sounds like that's a great idea. If he plays a Tombstone, I'll clear it out instantly. Sounds great. But in actuality, that is a wrong play because let's take the situation where Tombstone is not played. If you hold and don't pre-fireball and Tombstone is not played, you get the tower, right? Let's say that Tombstone is played and you did not play Fireball. Well, now you know that 3 elixir is committed on the right side. Just fireball the Tombstone and take that as your victory. And then just spell cycle your way to victory so you never overcommit elixir. And I think that loss of 4 elixir really hurt him. So in some ways, you're incentivized to just hold. Just throw the Hog Rider and watch. if your opponent decides to try to defend the Hog Rider, then you Fireball. Because you don't need, the tower health is low enough that you can actually cycle with Fireball. You don't need a big risky play like pre-Fireballing.
This is why you have more crowns than I do.
Running 2 decks, and their 1 deck is super successful, and the other deck, little less successful, loses like 3 times in a row for them to get reverse swept. Jewish Panda needs to pull out at least 1 game with this Expo, one by hell or high water. He needs to pull out 1 Expo game, because then I actually think his Golem Graveyard deck could probably beat, either a Golem Mirror Match or the Giant Bowler deck. The hardest matchup in the entire finals is his Expo against Giant Bowler or Golem
Bring it
Lightning.
first. You got to win that coin flip.
Yeah, definitely. We'll bring it first. I like that.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I think
Start throwing them Expos down.
that's right.
Baby Dragon, weirdly, you'd think it would be good against Graveyard. It's okay against Graveyard. It's gonna... There's no Lightning in Jewish Panda's deck. He has Zap and Log instead of the Log and Lightning combination.
Okay.
So he doesn't have a way to you play Baby Dragon to counter the Graveyard, I can Lightning it along with the tower. But Baby Dragon attacks slow, has kind of a small little spit range, so it's not as good at cleaning out those skeletons as something like Bowler might be.
What is Jewish Panda's main way of taking down big bodies?
Inferno Tower, buddy.
Inferno Tower is the go-to method. I still think even with Lightning available, you still, out of necessity kind of, it's either Inferno Tower or Tombstone, right? It's one or the other.
Okay. All right. Well, again, $2,000 is on the line for both of these players. I'm going to go through and let's see who you think's going to win. Rumham?
I might have to go with the Dark Lord of Temptation, but I'm going to change it to Jewish Panda because I want to see Graveyard take one of these home.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm there with him.
Allie, you as well? Jewish Panda? All right, I'm also for Jewish Panda. Rainey?
I think Graveyard won last Coronation Day, right? I can't remember. I feel like I want to see Graveyard win again, but you guys are all picking Jewish Panda, and it makes me very tempted to pick
I was
Lucy.
going to say, it's hard to look into the camera and be like, I'm with Satan.
Just so you guys know.
Fallen Angel.
Versus Panda.
He's pretty versus the
Panda.
All right, well, here we go, guys. Again, this is a best of 5 here in the finals. They have to win with their decks. Here it is.
The Mega Minion's too far away.
This is definitely something a Dark Lord would use.
Oh, no! Man, what a good explosion.
Oh, and the Log, but there's still more. 3 of them is enough. Look at how much damage they do.
Wow.
That is amazing. That's what I love about it. Just 3 of these little guys survive, and already 1808 on that tower.
And because he used Log defensively, he didn't have Log on the Tombstone there, which made his Golem push pretty less effective. Interesting thing to note, Jewish Panda, himself not Jewish, mentioned it in chat.
If you saw us laughing, that was definitely what it was.
Well, the Panda is Jewish, I think, is the implication.
Right.
He might not be.
I just
He
assumed-
probably-
I just thought he
I
was a
think-
panda playing Clash Royale.
I think the
such big
thing is that he made the
hard.
panda that is Jewish. The panda is
He's
human-made.
human-made. They are. I get it. Okay,
Oh,
you're right.
wow. Yeah.
Put it all together
Put it all
now.
together.
So these towers are about even as Golems come down the right lane, head-to-head. This is really going to come down to who is better at defending against the enemy push. Jewish Panda, 2 elixir ahead. That might be relevant.
All right, let's see.
Maybe.
Big thing is Graveyard will be thrown into the mix unless Jewish Panda identifies that he wants to defend first. And it seems like he does. Defense first. When is your opportunity to Graveyard? I think he's lost it. I think he's just willing to trade an even push.
I think he's not going to play it until he sees the Ice Golem or the Log come out. Or actually, is actually Log and
aggressive
Zap.
Golem.
Or no.
River Golem.
The River Golem with the Ice Golem behind. It's Daddy and the Sun.
Weirdly enough, Jewish Panda's 2 last cards are Log and Zap. Hasn't cast either yet. Just kind of letting the skeletons go run wild.
Right. I think they're both trading golems, and the fact that they're both deciding to pump elixir into defense rather than offense means that they're barely getting any damage off. Actually, Jewish Panda got the upper end of that exchange. One of the golemites actually made it, but still, they're both not willing to take the risk, right? They're not willing to go on the aggressive end.
I think Jewish Panda found himself in kind of a bad situation that he wanted to get the Golem down at the river early so that the archers or other support units would actually lock on and kind of help, but they died just to the baby dragon before the Golem came out, and those Golems, they kind of just walked to its death.
That baby dragon for loose for also getting a great amount of value as it, before it dies, also takes out the archers that Jewish Panda plays.
Ooh, double tombstone, and this golem is not going to the right address. That is just like my Amazon delivery the other day.
Wanted.
Did not go to the right place. I was very upset.
so sorry.
Baby Dragon's still trucking, dies just in time for its brother to come out. Oh, but double, look at that. What a great catch by the Ice Golem. The Ice Golem caught both minions. They were so close together, the Baby Dragon was able to splash along with the tower attack.
Wow.
That 2 elixir Ice Golem saved the day.
There we go. Finally, Jewish Panda breaks out of the cycle and plays the Golem behind. And I actually think playing that Ice Golem was a mistake. Save that 2 elixir. Let the Baby Dragon do damage to your tower. Make sure that you end this in one fell swoop because you're in overtime now. There's no continuing after you take down the tower.
You're right. Taking just 200, 300 damage isn't going to be significant compared to being able to put together giant pushes that are very deadly.
Here it comes. Ice Golem plus Archers. That graveyard is shut down.
You're right. Not going to get a single. Oh, a little
Oh,
bit of damage.
no, actually, the
zap.
Golemites are tanking. The Golemites are
Okay.
tanking.
Oh my
and-
Oh, no, that graveyard is shut down.
That graveyard is definitely not shut down. I don't know what you heard, Christian.
Just like that. It
You know what
oh,
the key was there? He zapped the archers, and the archers retargeted over to the golemites, and
is
let
that
the
it?
skeletons go free. The archers can one-hit skeletons, so they were just back-to-back bad girls too, just bam, 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 taking off
I feel
skeletons.
like you referenced that last show.
I've only
referenced
seen 3
Bad
movies.
Boys.
I've only seen 3 movies in my life.
Bad
He-
boys,
he
bad
rec-
girls. And
yeah.
Once the golemites reached the tower, he zapped the archers. Both of them changed to the golemites, which allowed the things to go
Run
and
up.
swarm the tower. Woo!
It's actually
Very good.
really, really good. And you think about the miner has this property, for example, that will bump units. And so playing something like a miner or doing something like Zap, playing targeting tricks like that can make cards like Graveyard so much more effective. And right at the last moment, Jewish Panda makes it happen with that Zap.
There it is.
Can we talk a little bit about your deck that you were teasing earlier? That
Unless you don't want to
You
give away your
think-
secrets.
I opened Graveyard in my shop Saturday morning.
Another legendary from
I
Pam.
Make sure you get your notepads ready if you want to
Yeah.
copy this
So
deck.
I spent all day working on different graveyard decks, and I had a lot of fun with it. I ended up settling on a Prince graveyard deck, and it found to be very, very effective. Anytime miners, hog riders, royal giants, even like regular giants with bowler come in, the Prince defends against them very, very well. Doesn't get knocked back by bowler. And on the counterattack, the
Good to
opponents
know.
feel like they have to block stuff at the river, and the graveyard is behind their tower, and they kind of have to play both
one or
front
the
and
other.
back at the same time. I played it at the King's Cup. I made it through the first cut. I was number 4 in the second heat. I almost made the final cut.
Whoa.
Fell out in the end because I'm a bad player. But I did win a side event going 13-3 in an hour with the deck. So Prince
Wow.
Graveyard, very cool.
I think that's
gonna
better than any record I've ever had.
Somebody should bring
Have
this
we
to the
seen
Coronation
have we
Day.
seen Prince at all in the Coronation days?
I am a dedicated Prince player.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen
Bang.
Prince at all. All right, well, our next game is ready, ladies and gentlemen. We have Jewish Panda up 1-0 against Lucifer. Again, we are in the finals, so it is a best of 5. Jewish Panda can bring the same deck again, but you can only win with one deck 2 times here in the finals.
Has Clout Gaming won a Coronation Day yet?
No, I'm saying both of these are now, I think,
Oh,
new
yeah, okay.
clans. That are
Oh,
in.
yay.
Because Garrett was from Synergy.
Yes.
And then, of course, yeah, Hammers, Takeover, Reddit.
So either way, tonight we are going to have
Take
a
over.
new clan winner.
That's great.
Clout's been around for a long time. One of the original major gaming clans in the Clash Royale scene, so very impressive. It looks like the Musketeer's going to be just out of Golem exploding range.
Wow, that Musketeer is avoiding a lot of damage.
She's just standing perfectly still. Oh, wow, good roll. I love Bowler so much. When he starts walking from behind the tower, he does the bowling. So good. Another Tombstone's going to prevent... Oh, actually, so Jewish Panda going for a second game with his Golem deck, which means that he is willing to have his back against the wall with
the
Expo,
Expo, yeah.
and try to win one of the last 3 games, maybe, of the match with Expo. But he wants to take the 2 wins that he feels like he's more comfortable with his Golem deck.
You also might, again, the psychological pressure you might also place on your opponent by them being only 1 game away from losing might make them make that 1 slip up that could cost them
Very
the
good
game.
point. You're right.
Now, this is interesting. Lucifer prefers the giant... I mean, based on this Coronation Day, Lucifer has been killing Golem decks with his giant bowler.
Very good point. And he did it with that pretty interesting combination of stacking up bowlers. Let's see if he does that again. He's Golemites, go away.
Get out.
Point, point, point.
No.
Get out of here. Beat it.
One more.
Kick rocks, kid.
No. Go kick your... Oh, no. Stop. Because rocks is going to say family, and you don't want to say that. Man. It's not very nice.
Ooh, let's see the
Don't
Musketeer.
kick your family.
Don't.
Hey, this is a battle between Lucifer and Jewish Panda, so
Anything goes.
Oh, wow, defensive graveyard.
Interesting.
And the log comes down to clear it all out.
I think that was the wrong move, but I've been wrong before. A few of the skeletons actually do add up and take down the giant, but the giant already got a few swings on a tower. Was it really worth it to commit 5 elixir?
I think that's really good if you have something like P.E.K.K.A., right, which is going to stop and get distracted at every little thing along the way. But Giant just ignores them. He just keeps walking.
Log has been such a key card in these anti-tombstone matchups, and again we see that Log earning the giant one big swing, even though the graveyard is committed to defense, not offense, which is a big part of Jewish Panda's aggressive nature.
And we see the stacked bowlers yet again, but there's nothing to kill the Mega Minion. I think the Musketeer's out of cycle.
Uh-oh, there's a Mega Minion to challenge, and I think it will win it out, and one of the bowlers does survive. How do you stop this with the elixir that you have? You can't.
Ooh, especially with the lightning right there. Jewish Panda giving the well played. Because one more rock, there it is, taken down that tower, and Lucifer going to tie it up 1-1 here in the finals. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Is there any other deck that is better against Golem that we've seen so far? I don't think so. I think Lucifer is making a very strong
found a way.
case. Yeah, I think Lucifer is making a very strong case for a deck that is actually very well suited against both Baby Dragon Golem decks and also Graveyard Golem decks.
Yeah, I guess maybe the Minor Rocket, Inferno Tower, maybe, but you're right. Like, Lucifer has a few key cards in this deck that makes it different from a lot of the other decks out there. Running 3 spells, running Musketeer as well. Musketeer, pretty survivable, hard to really take out easily. And he's done a really good job holding off these gold decks. I'm really impressed. Like, I'm gonna go rewatch these games after the broadcast.
See what it was.
Yeah, to really take notes, because I love Giant Bowler, but I quit playing it because I felt like I couldn't beat the Golem decks out there. So I'm learning something from Lucifer, and I hope you're all learning something at home.
Yeah, and tweet at us if you are, because we would love to know if you're learning things from us. That would just be awesome. Not from me, because I don't have anything really valuable.
You absolutely do.
We're learning
offer
fashionable headwear.
you.
That's right.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
right.
indeed.
We all know who the actual winner is tonight.
Me
Free
with
hat.
my crown.
Free hat. All right. So now, technically, right, again, as you most elegantly put it, the best of 3 kind of technically starts now in the finals, right? Both players have one victory. They are now both winning. They both won 1 with their decks. It is now kind of coming down to that best of 3. So far, that Giant Bowler, how... Again, like we have again, like you said, you haven't gone back, you haven't watched exactly what it is, but how do you think gut reaction Jewish Panda has? What does he have to do to stop it?
Well, it depends on what deck he's bringing. If he brings that Giant Bowler deck again, the commitment to the Bowler is really what's been doing it. Bowler doesn't do a ton of damage to the Golem, but as soon as the Golem pops and turns into Golemites, Bowler just wrecks them. Like, there's no real follow-up once, because the Golemites are medium-sized and they get knocked back by the Golem's pushes, preventing them from really locking onto a tower, doing a lot of damage with their attacks, and of course, if they're too far from the tower, when they blow up, they don't do anything.
All right. Musketeer stepping up to the plate. The first Musketeer that Lucifer played in the last game was so effective. Oh no! Musketeer, it wins.
Does he have the zap?
The Ice Spirit got taken out also by a Bowler's Rock.
Bad play by Jewish Panda. I think that log just reset his own Inferno Tower.
Oh no! Oh
Because
no!
it knocked the Bowler, the current target, out of the way.
Bowler still lives.
And I'm pretty sure he can play another Bowler at this point now. You're right, the Bowler stacking up is just incredible. You know what actually might be really good for Jewish Panda's Expo deck is being able to rocket the double Bowlers.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, that Ice Spirit.
That's actually good that he hit the Ice Spirit as well, because that was one of the things, like, an Ice Spirit alone is enough to stop a Mega Minion from reaching the tower, and by lightning it as well, he forced another play out.
There's that Expo.
Uh-oh. Oh, the Bowler just in time.
I think Bowler could have been a little closer, actually. He's so far from the river that he's just taking free damage right now. If he was turned around, that probably would have been a little better.
Play another card.
Does he have an Ice Golem?
Play another card.
One elixir?
Play
One
another
elixir?
card. No!
Expo locks on. Now he's got lightning, he's got log. Looks like log is all he's gonna do, but still, look at that. Look at that. Woo! Just like that, takes the lead as far as damage.
I think Jewish Panda is thrilled to try to steal a game here at the Expo. He feels really comfortable. He's up by a little bit. Now we're going to go into the 1 minute double elixir time, which is probably where these tank decks get a lot stronger, but Jewish Panda may be able to start generating elixir so quickly in such a cheap cycle that he could set up an Expo on the other side and sort of force his opponent to play both angles.
Inferno Tower, gonna lock onto the Giant. Actually is able to hit all 3, and that's gonna be pretty big.
Yeah. Jewish Panda recognizing that as well. Poor little sad face.
But he can drop another one right now if he wanted to.
think that would be a good option. And the big thing, I think Lucifer actually wants that to happen multiple times, that situation that happened, because essentially he's getting a free lightning on the tower every single time that play is, and you can just spell cycle Expo decks down. That's one of the reasons why lightning is so great against Expo. If you can set up a situation where you tank the Expo for a certain amount of time, lightning it, it's actually going to take down the Expo and you get damage on the tower.
But Jewish Panda has adapted and changed his placement up so that it was a little further, one more square over to the side, and now lightning didn't touch it.
Yeah. He has to choose to lightning the Expo and the tower, or the Inferno Tower and the Expo. He can't do all three.
Man,
These giant pushers are coming in hard and fast.
Yeah, it's so happy. That's what was so sad about it getting killed by lightning. It was smiling all the way through and just...
Okay, I'm needing to play. I'm gonna go play.
Wow, great lightning. Oh no, the Mega Minion's locked onto the Musketeer, not what you wanted.
Aggressive tombstone play. I really wonder why that decision was made.
I think he was more optimistic about the giant surviving and wanted the skeleton armies behind it.
Here might be one of the reasons, but no, the Mega Minion just placed right on top of the Musketeer. It actually will win.
Wow, because the tower wasn't shooting it. The tower was too busy shooting the skeletons.
Bowler already in place. This Iceberg is just going to take a boulder to the face.
Oh, poor little guy.
A bowler to the face.
So wait, now it's
Too close?
It's
Lightning.
too close.
Doom,
yeah.
doom, doom. Oh no!
Oh, didn't get the third strike.
Every damage point counts here. 2 minutes of overtime remaining.
I believe he can get another bowler out real soon, and he should start getting to that thing that we've seen so effectively, the stacking of the bowlers. The ceremonial stacking of bowlers.
The ceremony of bowler stacking. Oh.
Ooh.
And as long as he has a rotation of either bowler or giant one at a time, it's really hard to get those expos out. He's going for these giant bowler pushes, but I think that giant's going to get eaten up for free. Oh no, good lightning.
The lightning might be the thing that opens the pathway up for Lucifer, and I think he's going to be able to play another giant.
Oh no!
Opts not to.
Did you notice, by the way, we have the new overtime music?
Yeah.
Oh.
In the most recent update, the music for overtime has changed. Wow. And look at that! Jewish Panda has taken so much damage on both sides that I wonder if he could even sneak a giant or musketeer on the other lane. That might be enough to put it within spell range.
What are you going to do about this Inferno Tower? He's going to lightning it, and I think that giant will be enough to punch that tower down.
One thing we've gotten to the point, though, like you mentioned, I think last Coronation Day, Rainey, is now the tower is at a low health where if an ice golem gets popped out, it might be the target of the lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
I think he's just going for it.
Yeah. I actually think that one of the things that Lucifer has been doing incorrectly is making sure that he's lightning the Inferno Tower. I think just let the Inferno Tower stand. Why do you care if the giant makes it to the tower or not? It's so unlikely that that's the case. Just make sure you're cycling the tower.
He's going for it. One more rocket after this, he'll do it, right?
You're right, because log's not going to be enough here. The downside is he's looking really close to death here.
Oh,
That
no,
gets a few shots and did lock on.
Lucifer picking up his second victory here in the finals against Jewish Panda. One more victory away from $2,000.
Oh, Jewish Panda has to be hurting because he knows how tough that Expo matchup is, and he was so close. Like, one more swing of anything, a minion, a mega minion, anything on the tower would have put that in log range. Log does like 102.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
he knew he couldn't log it for the win, but. Ugh.
That was amazing. And again, also the rocket, right? He just had to get to that rocket again. The Ice Spirit,
expensive.
If the Ice Spirit was placed a little bit further for Jewish Panda, it could have locked on to that Musketeer. It could have killed it, but so close. A game of inches.
Yeah, and he took the match, but how risky is it to just wait till double elixir happens and like...
You know what I think he could have done a little different is instead of setting up all those expos at the river where he's already trying to build these giant bowlers, try to take one of those center expos, or actually maybe not center, but on the left lane tilted in just a little bit so that you know it's going to cover the lane. Then he has the option of either, well, no, we're going to go down the other side, right? And split the damage up a little bit. Or if he chooses to continue to go down the same lane, you have the supporting fire. Then you can still play your Inferno Tower like you would, I guess, normally. But that was tough. I think Jewish Panda was doing his best in that difficult matchup.
Got super close.
Still needs to win a game.
Talk to me what you were saying a little bit more about why would you care about lightning the Inferno Tower? You said just let it stand?
Yeah, at a certain point, you know that you have enough defense against the Expo that it's never going to do a point of damage to your tower. For example, if you have the elixir enough to play a giant to block the Expo, he's going to play things like Inferno Tower, maybe he's going to play Ice Golem, a bunch of cards that are never going to make it to your tower and do any damage. The only way he actually does damage to you is by the Expo. So essentially, why do you feel the need to challenge that Elixir at all?
Okay.
Just let it stay on his side of the map and just use your lightning strictly on the Expo and the tower. That way, the Expo just
Panda
wastes
is
the
not
rest of its
happy.
measly little life shooting at the giant,
Either way.
never accomplishing anything.
So Lucifer, has he won twice with Giant Bowler, or is it 1-1? So he did win an early round, but I'm trying to remember because I think we saw the
I
graveyard.
think he's
deck.
only won twice with Giant Bowler because Jewish Panda won the first game. He won Lucifer won the second game against Golem deck with his Giant Bowler. Then he won against the Expo with his Giant Bowler.
Whether it's 1-1 or 2 with the Giant Bowler, he is bringing this Golem deck into his final crucial game. If he wins this, $2,000 richer, booked a ticket to the arena battles, and maybe even all the way to the crown duels.
That's right. It is on Jewish Panda right now to come back and tie it up 2-2 to take it to that crucial game number 5 here in the finals. Can he do it?
Golem actually avoids the slow effect of the Ice Golem, and that's going to provide the... Oh, wow, that was just on the edge of enough. I think that Golem is going to make it to the tower. Big opening from Lucifer. He's going to take an early lead.
You're right. You see how crucial the tombstone is. And oh no, a bad log. Oh, never mind. It actually kind of worked out. Huh? Oh, because right as the tombstone popped, the golem died, and that explosion took care of it.
Still, though, not super ideal for Jewish Panda. I mean, having the big body golem make it to the tower is much better than the golemites because the damage is not proportional, right? The two golems do not equal the two golemites does not equal the golem.
I agree. Absolutely. Early in beta, just a little side note. Golemites used to be a lot stronger, and the main golem body used to be a lot weaker. And
Yes.
Supercell changed it to make the main golem very tough and the golemites much weaker, so that the golem itself felt like an imposing presence.
It's him again, Rumham, the River Golem.
Oh no, River Golem! I think we might be going for some graveyards here real soon.
This might actually be big because there was no tombstone set up before that
There it is.
golem came down. Here comes the graveyard. Stop it. Mega Minion is not the choice that you want.
So much damage.
Wait, hold on.
Graveyard.
It's too much.
Oh,
And Jewish
Wow.
Panda places the double tombstone.
I think he might want another 3-crown here in the future.
Yeah.
the Horde of the Undead is unstoppable right now for Jewish Panda.
River Golem worked out so well because none of really Lucifer's Elixir was played on the left side. He didn't even have a tombstone in place and just did not have the infrastructure to stop that Golem from making it to the tower. Plus the fact that he had to deal with the graveyard, it's just a little bit too much. You see another River Golem making it to the tower, and Jewish Panda is quickly running away with this game. Even if Lucifer somehow takes down that right side tower, he's already down. One more Golem push will take down that right side tower for Jewish Panda.
There's
He's
no
so
way.
far
Golem
behind.
decks are so slow; they can't do it in just 10 seconds. You know what I mean? There is no combination of cards in that deck that can take down a low health tower quickly.
And there it is,
Down to
just
the
like
wire.
that. Jewish Panda gonna tie it up against Lucifer. We are going into game number 5 here at the finals. Coronation day number 9.
5 times.
This means that it's either going to be Expo
It's got to be Expo.
yeah, you're right. It's going to have to be Expo versus Golem. That's the only possibility now.
Okay.
I'm actually not sure. I think we don't remember if Lucifer has won.
With-
He
we have to
won
check.
twice with Giant Bowler.
He won.
Because,
Okay, he did one twice with Giant Bull. Okay, yeah. So
it
you're
is
right.
gonna
Then
be
Golem has won twice. So you're right. It is Golem versus Expo. There could be some critical mistakes made here, but of course, Golem is the deck that has bullied Expo out of the finals before.
Right.
Yeah. All right, just a quick reminder, guys, before we get into our final game here, that if you are watching this on Facebook, go ahead and hit that share button for us. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. And finally, if you're watching this on Twitch, hit that follow.
Your head
rating.
okay?
He's
Are
mind
you seeing the
controlling
future?
people.
I'm sending messages to
You're
our
mind
viewers to
controlling,
tell them to share and like.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
follow.
Yeah.
I
if you-
was like, you have to share or Rainy's gonna explode.
Actually,
Like,
you know what?
we're just gonna threaten.
We
It
should,
looks like-
we should really, on broadcast, take out our phones and share it ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Shouldn't be-
do it.
I'm gonna use this nifty 70s iPad.
This
While,
nifty
while I do this,
Because
Rainey,
it definitely existed.
what
in
is
the
what is your opening hand that is ideal if you're Jewish Panda right now?
Expo. Expo and stuff. Just stuff to throw in
So
front
you
of it.
want that Expo.
You probably want something like Expo, Ice Golem, Mega Minion,
What
something
happens
like
if
that.
it's not? If it's not there, that's like the most opportune time to use Expo.
The nice part is that with Skeletons, Ice Spirit, and Ice Golem all being very cheap cycles, he might be able to draw it even if it's the 5th or 6th card in his deck pretty quickly. But
Yeah,
the goal
yeah.
here is it's not so much that Jewish Panda wants Expo in his hand, which he does. but he really wants Lucifer to not have Tombstone or Golem, because that deck's a lot harder to cycle.
Okay.
Downside is there's 3 good blockers. I mean, there's Ice Golem, Tombstone, and Golem, but what we saw in the other games was sometimes the Tombstone would come out and get shot really quick and then just block on and go from there.
You really have to have, the big thing is you have to have cheap enough cards with your original set of Elixir to play enough defense. Because even if you do cycle to your Golem, can you guarantee that you have 8 Elixir at that time to play it?
Yeah.
If your opening hand is like Baby Dragon, Archers, Lightning, Log, you're in trouble because one of those cards has to come out, and they're not a great matchup against Expo.
Well, here it is, guys.
Oh, man.
Lucifer from Clout, Jewish Panda from Human Made. It is the final game. One of these 2 players is taking home $2,000. Let's see who it's going to be.
Jewish Panda was mad at Lucifer.
Did he throw an anger face?
Yeah, he threw an angry face.
Poor guy.
Super mad. There it is. There it is.
Womp womp.
Good game.
Now the catch here, though, is that if this Expo and the associated skeletons can do a good amount of damage to the Golem before it really crosses the river, you never know, right? Like, the Golem's probably going to stop this Expo, but if that Inferno Tower survives with a lot of health, the next Expo can be set up with defense built in.
Man, that Expo has actually shot down a lot of units, but there's just too many targets for it.
Both even Elixir trades, so when it all kind of shakes out, they're both at 5. No major advantage for either player. Although that's pretty good news, I think, for Jewish Panda. I think that's the ultimate situation where you could get an Elixir trade against you.
Yeah. It's interesting because you do have the double 1 Elixir cards and the Ice Golem and the Log. And so I think if Jewish Panda just consistently justifies using the Log, like right here, could have been a little bit earlier.
Skeletons.
No! Oh my God! Jewish Panda! No, the zap! Oh, it actually does reset onto the Ice Golem. So he's going to mitigate a lot of damage. But this is what we're talking about. As per Ender, fast cycling Expo decks are where it's at. If there's an Expo deck that doesn't make me quite as upset as the other ones, it's the fast cycling ones, because I do believe that there is a world where they can beat out big body decks. You just have to be able to gain momentum in the game and cycle faster than the Golem can.
And we saw it before, so what happened on the last one is Lucifer was trying to save up to 8 Elixir. Right as the Expo locked on his tower, he hit that 8 Elixir and was just like, too late, just 1 little second too late. And I think that happened again. He had 8 Elixir, we had about 7 Elixir, and I think he panicked and played the Archers and Ice Golem instead of just dropping the big main Golem.
All right, we're in double Elixir time, and this actually makes it much safer for the Golem player.
You're right.
Many more opportunities to have 8 Elixir in hand to play the Golem at the preferred time, and not pulling a Clyde.
And worth mentioning that the Golem deck is not so hot. Or, I'm sorry, the Expo deck is not so hot at actually defending against these big pushes. It likes to be in the driver's seat. It wants to keep you constantly trying to react to it. If you actually have time to put a tank behind your King Tower and build the support troops behind it, it doesn't really have the tools to stop you.
The Skeletons actually delay the Mega Minion long enough to keep the Inferno Tower alive. There's a big lightning, but it's not going to actually hit the Inferno Tower, and so that's the only damage that's going to come out onto Jewish Panda. But again,
pretty impressive.
It's tough to find an opportunity for Jewish Panda to counterattack because he has to rely on the Expo, and there's the Golem to match.
What Jewish Panda doesn't realize either is that he was actually behind. He went from being even in Elixir to being behind by 3 after a lot of those exchanges. He had to spend a lot more Elixir to stop these Golem pushes than than his opponent was spending on the attacks.
And the final card in Jewish Panda's hand, again, is Rocket, correct?
Correct. And there's actually been some decent Rocket targets, but he just hasn't really gone for it. Like these Archers with the Baby Dragon and the Mega Mains, like maybe you can Rocket and get a decent amount of them down, but hasn't decided to go for it yet.
He needs to clear the board and drop his next Expo. What you can't do is get to the point where Golem is cycling as fast as your Expo, right?
Yeah.
That's just not going to be a winning moment for you. Inferno Tower gets dropped. That might be in lightning range.
I think it is lightning.
Yeah. Yep. Needed to play it 1 square over to the river.
He could have waited a little bit longer, I think, just for the sake of letting it heat up a little bit and then lightning it, but worked out all right.
Interesting. So this is a scramble, not the most elixir efficient defense.
Isn't there going?
Has to cycle to a second Inferno Tower.
Here's the downside. Lightning's going to come out again, and that Inferno Tower is going to be dead and out of cycle.
I think he needs to cycle fast to the second Inferno Tower and then play the Golem over to the right side tower is, I think, the winning move.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Ooh, double Inferno Tower.
Okay, wow. Actually, the Golem does actually take the bait. 596 health left.
And he's
starting the rocket.
I don't think he can stop that. Now,
he can survive 1 more lightning.
But
if he can somehow
make, will survive.
Yeah, if he can make it to 2 more rockets, he might actually be able to pull this off. It depends on the
down to a
play.
spell cycle right
He's
now.
traded the lightning with the rocket. He needs to play the log now.
Oh, it's 40.
Play the log to cycle. I actually think Jewish Panda can make it. He needs to play Elixir Efficient.
It's way slower than lightning.
No, they're the same elixir cost. He can actually do it.
Light log.
No, but it'd be travel time. Travel time.
It's in the air.
What are you doing? One more down. What in the world? Ladies and gentlemen, Jewish Panda taking out Lucifer in game number 5 with a rocket. Congratulations, sir. You're taking home $2,000, and you got him a ticket to the arena.
To be honest, I'm just kind of glad we don't have to crown Lucifer as like reigning of.
That's what we were worried about this whole time.
God-fearing people in the studio.
Good God.
But you know, you're right.
Americans.
So Jewish Panda had a few key cards that really helped him pull it out different from the other ones. Double 1 elixir cards and the rocket.
cycle.
Let him cycle quickly, both between the expos, but then also once he switches to the rocket plan, it's just ice golem, skeleton,
That
log,
was
ice
the
golem.
closest ending we've seen to any
6 elixir.
of our. Oh my gosh. Okay, well let's take a look at not our replay quite yet, but
Key moment.
key moment.
The double Inferno Tower laser beam, that is when Jewish Panda kind of stabilized. There was a while where it looked like he was slowly but surely like taking
Literally,
damage, taking
making
damage.
elixir,
The golems were coming down faster than he could really answer them. And at one time, he was able to keep an Inferno Tower alive, get the second Inferno Tower up, burn down the golem without taking any damage. The lightning was like not terribly effective. It was just a lightning on the tower, right? And that allowed him to stabilize and get back into like, okay, I think I can do this.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. Let's go into the replay now here in our final match. But I want to talk about the rocket versus the lightning. But when I said they were quicker, I mean, lightning is instant when you play it. Or the travel time is quicker. And how did it?
Look at the elixir cost. He actually was up by 4 elixir near the end. He had remember he went from even elixir to behind by 3 to
then
up by 4, and
Wow.
that actually allowed him to fire the rocket. When he fired that rocket in the air, Lucifer still only had 4 elixir, and
He had to charge too.
yeah, he just didn't have the time.
Talk about, this is one of the reasons why players will tend to the lower elixir effective cards, right? Because cycle is so important. Cycling is actually so important. And Jewish Panda demonstrated that today. He's keeping himself fit, making sure he's keeping that cardio up.
Great log right there to do the whole tombstone trick, wiping it out. And that allows the Expo to lock on. And even with the lightning there and the retarget, that did 1,000 damage. If that was like all the other Expos we saw, where it didn't really lock on or do anything, he wouldn't have been able to rocket cycle before dying to the enemy lightning. Even though if it was only 1 successful Expo, it was, as we talked about it, early in the game.
Yeah, Graveyard again making it to the finals and winning.
Wow.
So super good on this brand new legendary card. People are already using it. It's doing fantastic. Let's pull up the bracket for anyone for a quick recap of the day. Rumham Rainey, walk us through the story of Coronation Day number 9.
The
story
human-made
of
Jewish
Lucifer.
Panda has a crazy run through AJ, through Chief Mystical, and then finally to Lucifer in the finals. And Lucifer himself was no pushover. I mean, Tin 2, I think, came the closest.
I did.
Came the closest to being. I mean, if you remember that first match of the day, Tin 2 versus Lucifer, I actually think it was a very, very key decision at the end that suddenly allowed Lucifer to push back to the win.
Yeah.
Tin could have been the one in the finals, but ever since Lucifer beat him, went up against EPRU, lost against one deck, but won convincingly the 2 rounds that he did win, got all the way to the finals and just wasn't quite. I mean, how close? How much closer can you get, right?
40 HP.
Crazy.
That's got to feel tough for Lucifer, because I think he played really well. I mean, he had some of the most innovative strategies that I saw with the Giant Bowler deck.
Right.
And, man, congratulations, Jewish Panda. Hey, you know what, Lucifer? You get $500 for your evil schemes.
great. Yeah.
Reinvest into fiddles.
Tickets to Georgia.
Tickets to Georgia, pitchforks.
Yeah.
Lots of things that Lucifer enjoys buying with $500.
So not only is Jewish Panda not Jewish, and probably not a panda.
Yeah, we don't know that one though.
We don't know that for sure, but we do know that he's going home with $2,000 and a ticket to boot camp. If you want to be like him, Panda or not, go to ClashRoyaleOpen.com, sign up, come see us. Maybe fight Lucifer. Who knows what crazy
Who knows the
adventures you'll
amazing
be.
people you can...
What a quest. Talk about a quest, right?
Oh my gosh, and like the one game that was so close, it was between Lucifer and Jewish Panda.
That was it. The face-off was real again.
A battle as old as time.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next, that's doing it for Coronation Day number 9. Number 10 is also today. So just hang around. Just keep the stream up. We'll be seeing you at 6 o'clock p.m. And then again, Wednesday at 6. Thursdays are going to be at 8 o'clock p.m. from now until the end. And what you guys are seeing right there, that's it. On the 17th, that is our final day. That is Coronation Day number 16. So you have now 7 more chances. 7 more chances to make... No, I guess the next one, so it's 6 more chances. Because Coronation Day number 10 is coming up. So 6 more chances for you guys to be here playing for $2,000. Right, 7 more because there's one more. You guys have some sweet chances to make it here. And again, the chance to move on for $15,000 and the chance to go visit Supercell HQ. We hope to see you here. Final thoughts of the day, guys, before we leave?
I now realize why pandas are still alive on this planet, because they can play Clash Royale.
Yeah, and they're human
Good
made.
point. They
And
donate their winnings to
Satan.
their own survival.
Yes.
I think you need to go and play a Prince Graveyard deck. I've been having a lot of fun with that.
Bring
Give
it.
us the full list. Give us the full list.
Full list. Prince, Inferno Tower,
Good.
Graveyard, Archers, Ice Golem, Fireball, Zap.
Wow. Anyone write that down? People write that
There's
down.
one more card.
Put it on red.
Mega Minion. Mega Minion. Duh, Mega Minion's in every deck.
Yeah.
Mega Minion.
Yeah.
No, that's really fun. The thing is, we've actually seen the meta kind of calcify here. We've got Giant Bowler, Golem, Royal Giant, X-Bow, and Minor Rocket. Like, we know what they are. I'd love to see in the remaining 7 Coronations some new innovative deck coming out. And hey, Tornado comes out in only 5 days while the Coronations are still going.
That's right. We will have a chance to see that. We'll see if it is. Well, on behalf of everyone here at NGE Studios in beautiful Burbank, California, this has been the official Supercell Clash Royale North American Opens. That is Rumham. This is Raining.
I'm Ella.
I'm Christian.
Have a most ridiculous night.
Good night. Oh, hey, your crown fell off.
You should not throw the crown around like that.
There you go.
I have many of them.
You have many of them?
Oh, I'm very glad to have this one.